Hello everyone and welcome, it's Shanna. Today we're using some Spellbinders Betterpress products. We've got the festive poinsettias Betterpress plate and the six coordinating layering stencils. And I'm going to bring in the Betterpress Home for Christmas plates and dies, and we're going to make a Christmas card. Actually, we're going to make three. And these are real simple, not much to mention, and just some quick, easy way that you could make some cards for Christmas with these press plates and even the sentiments. So I'm just going to use some Canson watercolor paper that I have. I'm all out of my Spellbinders cotton paper that you normally would use with a Betterpress. But I heard somewhere that the watercolor paper would work well with it, and I have used it several times with the press plates. I'm moving my tape around here thinking that I'm positioning it better for the plate, but it doesn't matter because this plate actually, you're going to ink up like the whole cover, and then the floral elements that are indented will remain white. You can tell as I'm brushing this ink on here. So anywhere that I tape it, for the most part, is really going to be in the way, and unless I would do it on the back of it. But it doesn't matter because I am going to trim the panels down that I make. And so I'm using Cosmic Sky, Cosmic Blue Sky, Betterpress ink. I think it's just called Cosmic Sky. And I'm trying to ink it up really well because this is a pretty large area where you're going to want to cover it with ink. And I'm just going to bring in my Spellbinders Platinum 6, and we're going to run it through there real quick and take a peek at it. And it's time for the big reveal. And you can see some of the outer areas inked up a little bit better. And I started to re-ink this, and I felt like it shifted on me. I'm not sure that it did, but I wasn't going to risk messing it up because I thought I could work with this panel even though it wasn't fully saturated in the ink. So I'm just straightening it up, and I'm going to clean it off. I've got one of my bottles there that's got some solution in there, and I'm just going to clean it up, and then we're going to try it again with some other ink. So we'll get it laid down on here, and I was touching it to make sure there wasn't any remaining ink on there and to see if it was dry. And so I'm going to just bring in another panel, and we're going to do it again. And I cut my finger a couple of days ago chopping up some vegetables, and it was fine. And then this morning I bumped it and it just was gushing blood. So I've got a little kid's Band-Aid on there that has some owls on it. So that's what I've got. Now here I'm bringing in the Betterpress black ink, and I'm just going to use black on this, and we're going to do a black panel. And so we'll see how this turns out. And I'm being real careful not to shift my plate around. That way, if I want to ink it a second time, I can. I was just afraid to ink the first panel a second time because I felt like I felt it move underneath my hand, so that's why I didn't do it. We'll go ahead and bring our Spellbinder 6 in and run it through again, and we'll take a look at this. And the black is fantastic. I really like it. I see a couple areas, so I'm going to, I'm kind of looking at what I've got. I'm taking my tape off and repositioning it, and I'm going to make sure I ink up those areas where the tape was really well. And I'm going to make sure, I'm just kind of blotting it so that I don't move my press plate. And getting the areas that I think look lighter on the panel. And we'll just run it through again. And then I really like this. It's striking, I think. And I'll lay them aside. I'm going to do one more. Now, I cleaned up my plate really well. I'm going to bring in a distressed oxide and see how it inks up as opposed to the Betterpress inks. I think this is prize ribbon I have here. Or maybe Uncharted Mariner. I'll have to look back and see. I'll link everything in the description box below so you can check it out. I'm just getting it good and inked up. I'm kind of pressing and turning a little bit on it. And we'll run it through the die cutting machine and take a peek at it. And this is beautiful. I love this blue on there. I think it looks gorgeous. And you can see the panel was longer than an A2 size panel. It was just what was left of the watercolor paper that I had there. I'll have to trim it down, but I'm just eyeballing it. There was a couple fine hairs from the ink pad, and so I grabbed my tweezers and just picked them off so that I didn't smear the ink. And I'm just going to clean off my press plate again, and we'll get that put up, and then we'll come back and we'll work with our stencil. So I'm going to bring in my waffle flower stencil mat here and just lay it down. And I can't lay it in the corner because of the size of the stencil. I'll have to move it around quite a bit and get it organized. But there's 6 layers, and in the lower left-hand corner it says 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 on it. And you've got corner markers on all edges. That's why I'm kind of pushing it out away from the corner of the stencil guide. And I'm just going to get it lined up. We'll bring in some tape and tape it down, and then we'll get to stenciling. And I have sped this stenciling portion up quite a bit because it is rather lengthy, and I just thought you didn't need to sit and watch me at real time stenciling this. So I just put some tape on the back of my card panel, and I'm just going to get my stencil lined up and then tape it down. So we got that position. Now we're just going to grab some inks and get to stenciling. So I've got Lumberjack Plaid here, and this, I knew I wanted to use this ink pad because it is so inky. I can't stamp stamps with this right now because it is so inky, and that's how it arrived. I didn't re-ink it. And then I'm going to bring in some Kitsch Flamingo and do the bottom layer of the poinsettias with the pink. And then we'll pull off that one and we'll go to the second layer, and I'm going to tape it up, and I'm going to do the red on the second layer of poinsettias and just get them all inked up. And it's coming together. And then on the third one, I want to do something different, and I don't have the right color for it. So I'm just lightly inking it up in red. And then I'm going to grab my black soot and kind of do the tips just to kind of give it a little bit of a darker color. And then I'll look at it and I decide I want to bring in some more red on top of that black. And then I was happy with that. Now we're bringing in the next layer, and this is the pine cones. And I think I've just got ground espresso there that I'm using for that, and just getting them inked up. And I'm trying to catch a spot that I missed. Now we're going to do the first layer of the greenery. And I've got my pine needles there, and I'm just going to ink it up. And then I'm going to bring in my second layer, and I'm going to grab Shabby Shutters. And I probably should have went out of order and did the light because I'm using the same blending brush. But it works out okay. It blends together all right, and we get some light and some dark on there, and it gives it a little bit of variation. So I think it turned out really pretty. Now here I've went ahead and stenciled the other one that didn't quite ink right, and then I'm going to leave the Cosmic Sky one just blue background with the white paper. And we're going to do 3 different cards here, and I think they're going to be really, really pretty. So I'm just checking to make sure I have my card base in the right direction. I've just got this green panel that I had in my scrap bin, and I'm trying to get this glue bottle to work. So I'm putting the cap back on it with a needle in there and trying to get it flowing. And we'll just take this green panel and lay it down. Like I said, these cards are going to be really simple. We've just got the decorative Press Plate and Stencil panel, and they're going to be the star of the show and make for some real easy card making. And my card bases are off. I think I've mentioned that in my channel. And so I'm just going to trim them down as I go, and we'll just get this panel laid down on there. And I'm kind of doing this in assembly line style in that we pressed them all, we stenciled them all, and now we're going to lay the panels, the background panel and the panel on all of them. And then we'll come back in and do our next stages. So this one I'm going to bring in some of that Dahlia Spellbinders Essential cardstock because I thought it would look nice with the pink that's on the panel. Now for this one here that I'm doing, I used Distress oxides, or not oxides, just distressed inks for the stenciling on them. And that's how I stenciled those up. So we use the oxides on the black panel and the inks on the pink one. And I'm just going to trim this down. I didn't have an even edge all the way around it, so I wanted to just trim some off. And we'll get this one positioned down. And that glue is not wanting to come out again. And literally, I just glued the black panel down, and the ink has stopped flowing again. So we'll get this one laid down on there. Try and get it lined up right. And now we're going to move on to this Cosmic Sky one. And I've just brought in a gray background panel. I thought that'd be pretty with the blue. And we'll get it laid down on there. And I had my card base in the wrong direction, so I'm glad I opened it and realized it. And we're just going to glue our panel down again. And we've got to get the ink, or the glue flowing again. Still not coming out very well. And then we'll get it laid down on there. I really like this one. I like the simplicity of it. Very pretty. So I just, showing you kind of 3 different ways. Now, I did go ahead and press these Home for Christmas sentiments, 3 of them, down, and we're going to use the 3 of these on our cards. So I'm just trying to find the right dies for each one of these. And the third one I struggled. I had to look and look and look. So I paused and found it and then came back in with it. And we'll just get these die cut out. And I used black for the Merry Christmas one, the very first one. And then I used the Cosmic Sky ink for the other 2. And I thought they would look nice on both of those. Just getting them taped down. And again, I used the Canson watercolor paper for these. And then we'll just take it to the die cutting machine. We'll get it die cut out. We'll come back in, get our sentiments laid down on our card. So we're going to get Merry Christmas in the black ink and lay it down on this one. And I'm going to put this one at the bottom. And I decided not to even use any foam tape, just keep it real flat. These will be great cards for mailing for Christmas. I think that looks pretty. And then we're going to bring in our next sentiment and get it laid down on there. We'll put it more kind of the lower middle area there. Just wipe it a little bit. I had some splotty glue on there, and I was just kind of wiping it down a little bit so it wouldn't smear so bad. And then we're going to take our final sentiment and get it laid down on there. And then we'll bring in some bling bling. So these are all new products from Spellbinders, and I will link everything in the description box below so you can check it out. It's their newest release, and I think it's really pretty. And I'm going to bring in some of the, what are these called? glimmer embellishments. And I've got one that I lost and was trying to get it picked up and turned around so I could lay it down. And we're just going to kind of create that visual triangle with these sentiments or these embellishments and just get some laid down on the card. I think that adds a little sparkle to it. And then we're going to take the next one. Those are the red ones that I had. These are the, I want to say glimmer. I don't know. They're like clear, sparkly embellishments from Spellbinders. And we're just going to do the same thing. We're just going to lay several of these down on it. And we're going to use the same embellishment for the next card as well, because it's the right color for both of them. And I think it's pretty. So you have to let me know in the description box or in the comment box below which one of these cards is your favorite. I'm thinking, I think this one here, the blue with the white. I think that's probably my favorite one. I think they're all three pretty. I like the clean and simple look of the blue one. So I appreciate you watching. I hope you have a great day. Take care. See you soon. Bye-bye.